Any views or opinions expressed on KUR are not necessarily those of Kutztown University, Kutztown University Student Government, Kutztown University Student Services Incorporated, KUR staff and management, or other affiliated organizations.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary friends.
Caught me pondering my orb.
You've caught us at a very interesting time here on the radio voice of Kutztown University KUR as we ponder our orbs today. I've heard it's become a very popular meme in the mortal realm, so
What's a meme?
we thought it's not a meme for us. We actually do this. This is how we keep up in current
This
news.
is how I watch TV.
Yes, I subscribe to Yahoo News on my orb.
I am a member of Yahoo Gaming.
Yeah. You're
now
now
Yahoo Gaming has just crashed.
you're now on board the Paranormal Express. My name is Nicholas Yerfoss. With me is
Jake McDaniel.
and we're here to take you along on another journey on the rails of the Paranormal Express towards that of... We're going to talk about witches again, kind of. We just thought it'd be appropriate to do a second part just because there's so much to go over.
I mean, there's a lot on other topics we've also covered.
Yeah. There's just...
I kind of want to do another one on demons as well.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we could go forever on... I mean, each thing just has
Mostly
so much...
because I want to talk about the Striga.
Yeah.
From
We
Witcher.
have a few topics like what are male witches? Well, they're called warlocks.
Kind of.
You want to take us into that topic?
Sure. It's a very small topic. It's literally going to take me all of like a minute, maybe.
Okay, very
It's
good.
not going to take me long at all. It's like, yes, warlock is basically a male practitioner of witchcraft. The etymology comes from leading theory for the etymological origins of warlock is an old English word, which I don't know how to pronounce that. It looks like perloga.
Mm-hmm.
It's like P-A-E, but like A-E combined, like they're smushed together. And then L-O-G-A. Well, R-L-O-G-A. Which meant breaker of oaths or deceiver, which is theorized to come from how warlocks, at least when they were sort of ported into Scotland, like witch meant both male and female.
Mhm,
Witches were
okay.
not gendered in that way. It
Okay.
was just a gender-neutral term. But it was predominantly used for females, and that sort of grew, and so it became more associated with females. And so that's where warlock came in, to becoming a male term. But it was associated, or it may have become associated with male witches due to the pacts they had made with the Scottish word they used here. I don't know because I couldn't find an actual pronunciation of it, but it says Aldhornie, H-O-R-N-I-E,
Okay.
which I think may refer to as a sort of nickname. It is the devil. It's the Scottish word for like the devil, or a Scottish word for the devil.
Mm-hmm.
But because Ald sounds like a lot of other languages' term for like old, it makes me think of like a nickname for the devil of like Old Horny, like as his horns.
Yeah.
But yeah, and of course the word became romanticized and started being used in romantic literature, and that's where like the breaker of oaths or deceiver comes from, is their pacts with the devil, instead of basically meaning that they broke their baptismal oaths and Christian oaths.
Mm-hmm.
There's other theories that they comes from an old Norse word, meaning caller of spirits, but that's the Oxford English Dictionary considers that implausible because of the rarity of Norse words with a hard K, which that word does. I didn't pronounce it, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Looks like, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. There's just a weird letter in there that I'm like, I don't know. But the K is more consistent with the old etymology for Old English traitor.
Okay.
Yeah, it says here that although the most victims of like witch trials in early modern Scotland or early modern in general were women, there were men who were executed as warlocks. And John Napier, or Napier, I don't know. He was I've heard the name before. I didn't know. Oh, he's apparently a mathematician, a physicist, and an astronomer. That might be why I've heard of him. He was a Scottish landowner. He was apparently considered to be a warlock because of some of his work, I guess. But he was never prosecuted, probably because he was rich and a landowner.
Interesting. Napier's bones.
But yeah, so that's basically it I have for warlock.
Yeah.
It's mostly about the etymology of the word.
Okay, so...
Because it basically just equates to male witch.
Yeah.
So anything that applies to witches usually applies to warlocks. Of course, that's going to differentiate based on, time and how people change views and stuff.
It's a very intimidating title to have.
Because I've heard... I first heard warlock in a Scooby-Doo movie. But I don't remember which one that was.
Oh, man, I have it. It's in my head.
But it was like the first one with the Hex Girls as well.
The Warlock of Wimbledon?
I've heard... I don't think so, but maybe. I've heard that apparently warlocks... I don't remember where I heard this either. Warlocks don't generate... they don't generate magic or, have an inner, magical control like witches do or something. I don't know. It's weird. There's been a lot of things that have been put onto them through popular culture and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like originally it was just a word that meant male witch.
Yeah. I spoke briefly about the story of how my father told me that he said he was a warlock in high school. I didn't say it last time, no.
Okay.
But
because I didn't remember that. I remember you talking to me about that earlier.
Yeah, it was earlier. I didn't mention last time, but my father said that he was a warlock in high school or something, which just equated to him.
It's a very powerful word, though. Yeah.
Probably mingling with women and playing with tarot cards and stuff like that is what he equated to
opening
being
booster packs.
Opening booster packs for tarot cards. Yeah, man. Ultra rare the death card. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna transition into a quick... Are you finished with warlocks then?
I was trying to think of a tarot card that has a bird or a dragon on it, so I could be like that card, the Sky Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Or I guess the Devil, the Tormentor.
The Emperor.
The Sky Dragon.
Whatever. Yeah. I was trying to think of what.
I feel like Emperor's
Exodia.
too generic.
The Forbidden One. Okay. Yeah,
okay. I guess Exodia. Yeah, would be the Emperor. He's the best card. So.
Miss Yu-Gi-Oh
cards. We play that for real here.
One of the
we go to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. As the
I was there last week.
As the pharaohs and magi of old did with real mana and everything, we do the same here.
I love meeting up with Bayek, just so I can call him Bayek.
Bayek. So really quick, I have this message from the good conductor for more, not advertisement, but messages from his former alma mater. From the KR Notebook, attention KU community. Give Blood, Give Life, Kutztown University and the Community Outreach Center are hosting one more drive this fall. That will be on December 8th, and it'll be in MSU room 218 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come give blood if you can. Again, that is December 8th from 10 to 5 in MSU room 218. This message is brought to you by the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. We are coming in really quiet on the capture. That's weird. The ghost capture.
I mean, I am leaned far back because this chair doesn't.
Yeah, but I see your levels on the board fine. It's just into recording. Like I did in the last episode, we talked about witches. I talked about the iconography or the icon that is like
the flying ointment.
The witch's broom with its flying ointment.
Something like that, yeah.
Now,
one of my articles leads into that too.
This time, I'd like to talk about another common icon you see on the witch, and that is the hat itself. Of course, the nice brimmed, pointy hat. Basically, to start off, of course, it's the common symbol of some kind of crooked witch is the pointed cap. And whether you see forms of it where it is fully erect and it is standing, or if it is just disheveled and off to the side, or there are forms of it that come in straw or cloth make. And there's actually many theories as to the origin of what it is, and they can date as far back as 1215 or even the 4th century BCE. Though the actual connection between witches and the hat is what comes a lot later, but the image of that kind of hat is like from a very, very long time ago. Basically, the hat, of course, pointed crown and a larger rim around it. The earliest image of that form of a hat is between 4th and 2nd century BCE as a collection of mummified Caucasoids, which is the name of humanoid people between those centuries that when they find mummified bodies or remains of them, that was a name that
Did
they
they
was
not
given.
have anything to do with being around the Caucasus or possibly from the Caucasus? Because that's where Caucasian comes from. It's the mountain range.
These were actually found in China.
Okay.
So also Mongoloid was also
But,
another
people
form.
move.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So these mummified bodies were found in the Tarim Basin of Xinjiang, China, and the bodies were found with many large linen clothes and most specifically very, very long pointed tops on their hats. Really, really, like, I almost wonder, could you imagine making a sarcophagus that is so long that the hat literally looked like, in the images I was looking at, nearly a foot long.
So Caucasoid does reference people who are white, basically.
Okay, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, where the word Caucasian comes from. But that was like the
Sorry,
first
what were you saying?
imagery of a hat that is of that shape with the point and very long top. One of the most overwhelming theories for the tying that image of that hat to a witch is actually based off of a very anti-Semitic doctrine that was founded under the Fourth Council of the Lateran under Pope Innocent III in 1215. Basically, many Jewish people wore something called a Judenhut, which is the Germanic name for a Jewish cap.
So it'd be a
basically.
Judenhut.
A Judenhut, yeah. Which is like
Which
the
probably
German.
just means a Jewish hat, right? Is that what you
That's
said?
literally
Yeah.
just means a Jewish cap. So it is basically a Jewish cap. Just Judenhut sounds like interesting. It was initially before that time worn by choice.
Oh, those look weird.
Yeah, it's almost like it reminds me of the hat of the Tin Man
They have
from.
like a ball at the top of it.
Yeah, some of them do. It's interesting. And so it was worn by choice prior, but then became required to distinguish male Jews when they were outside of their appointed ghettos at the time, or it seems like most of the Jewish population was forced into certain areas and ghettos.
Yeah, that's very common.
yeah,
That's
very
where the
common,
term
yes.
ghetto comes from.
Exactly. And so, of course,
That's how we get Yiddish, actually.
Okay.
Yiddish developed through ghettos.
Interesting. Okay. And so, of course, as Jewish people were growingly persecuted by Christians, it's obvious that the idea of a evil magic user or somebody that is of negative imagery could be associated with the hat. However, the idea of it transferring to mainly women or witches wearing it could have been from all alewives, which were in medieval times, many women working small retail positions as either ale distributors, brewsters, or just general marketplace people. General marketplace merchants. So there are a lot of tales of folklore of many brewsters and alewives being that of usually single women divorced or even women deserting marriages. And these alewives would go out and seduce men, participate in prostitution or anything that really made them money to support themselves. Also, a lot of things that came to being more superstitious about alewives was their knowledge of herbology, because of the fact that they brewed alcohols and they had to have an understanding of the herbs, spices, and ingredients that go into it that could lead to
So
potion
KFC
making.
is run by witches.
Yeah,
is
it
what
is.
You're saying.
How many spices?
12,
is there?
I think.
Only 12. Wow, they got to get on their game. Dr. Pepper has what, 39?
Something like that.
And then Jägermeister has
Have you
like 70
have
something.
you heard of warm Dr. Pepper?
Heard of? Like, is that an actual
Yeah,
branded thing?
No, it's not. It's a branded like a special recipe that you
Okay.
can do with it.
Interesting.
You just boil Dr. Pepper and then put a lemon on top of it. Lemon slice.
Interesting.
Like literally on top
I
of
feel
the
like that
cup.
made the syrup go to the bottom and would be weird, but I guess not. Maybe not.
I don't know.
So alewives, of course, also had very similar cap. That was typically it didn't have the wide brim, but it still had the point at the top. And because of their promiscuous interactions with men, that could have led them to some kind of form of witch as well. Though, like, their actual attraction to witches is mainly made out of media from like the 1800s and on. We see a lot of depictions of witches around that time and on. Many, of course, Disney witches, The Wizard of Oz.
Is there ever a good Disney witch?
Ever a good one?
Yeah, because they're usually evil. They're the antagonist usually. Which is probably like because of these stories and stuff.
I don't
because
know.
of
The
this
first
time
thing I
period.
thought of was fairy godmother, but that's a fairy. That wasn't really a witch.
Yeah.
I can't. Maybe in.
It would have to be a more modern one.
It would have to be a much more modern. Yeah, definitely not.
Because if
the
it's
original.
going on like the Grimm tales, no.
Yeah, probably not. So yeah, that's more where those interactions come from and where you might see the witch's hat. Of course, it is definitely a more modern take to apply the two together. Definitely, the Wizard of Oz was the biggest in cementing that, because all the different. It was the evil witches that had that.
That's
hat.
also what got you like the curved like boots that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was only the evil witches that had that hat.
Yeah.
The good witches had crowns and looked like fairies, while the evil witches were all in black dresses and ugly noses and everything like that. And unless you watch the Return to Oz one with James Franco, which was terrible and showed the origin of the Wicked Witches or whatever. So.
Oh yeah, we saw that in the movie together actually.
Yeah, we did. We went to see that together
I
in
had
North
that
Carolina.
poster for a while.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it wasn't that good, but it was, it was one of those weird fantasy
was
movies.
alright.
It was trying to be Alice in Wonderland, which was received a little bit better than that.
It's because Johnny Depp was in that one.
Yeah, it was. That's what they missed out on. You gotta have a weird fantasy movie without Johnny Depp.
Yeah, they had JD from Scrubs in the other one. He's at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, he is. Okay.
I forget the actor's name.
Well, that's what I have on a witch's hat.
Alrighty.
So, perfect time then to move on to some messages we have to run by you guys really quick, and we'll be right back here on the Paranormal Express on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
End your weeks off right with Rare Vibes from 6 to 7 on Friday. Playing everything from rock
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
to indie
And unforgiving, ruled by the vibe I'm bringing, serving.
to hip hop. All this and more only on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building. Now a stylish glass coffee table. An electric guitar. These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have bought with it. Visit EnergySavers.gov and get tips on how to save energy and money. Then do things like switch to Energy Star light bulbs or Energy Star appliances, and you could save hundreds of dollars a year. So this doesn't happen to the recliner you've had your eye on, or this to the treadmill on your wish list, or this to the shiny new bike your kid's been asking for. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary friends. You're back aboard the Paranormal Express on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. If you're just joining us, we are continuing our subject from the last time we aired on witches. We spoke about warlocks earlier and the origin of the witch's hat, and we're going to continue now with a little bit more about that. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it worked out, so why not? So, so we finished off with witches' hats. What is your...
You said you were going to continue.
Was I going to continue?
With the witch's hat, just now.
Oh, I didn't mean to say I was going to continue. I meant to say that we're continuing with witches, and I spoke about the witch's hat. But I already spoke about everything I needed. So,
Okay.
What do you got for us?
The Malleus Maleficarum.
Ooh, that's a intimidating sounding thing.
The guy's not that intimidating.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
Well.
mean, I have a few choice words I'd like to stay for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's translated as the Hammer of Witches. So basically, I guess I'll go over what it actually covers, just in broad terms. I'm not going to go over specifics because it's a huge, huge book. It's broken down into 3 sections. In section 1, it goes over witchcraft in like theoretical terms, from the viewpoint of natural philosophy. Basically asking whether or not witchcraft is real, or if it's like a figment of the imagination, possibly something contrived or whatever, created by the devil, put into women's minds, usually women, because this guy is... Quick question, am I allowed to say incel on here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, this guy's an incel. The guy who wrote this is basically an incel.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. He's a misogynist at best, I guess.
Yeah, at least the misogynist, sexist, that's the vibe I'm getting from this, yes.
Yeah. But that's what it starts off with, is just asking questions about witchcraft, probing at it, kind of trying to figure out what it is exactly, which is fine. It's okay. Basically, the conclusion that he comes to in that section is that witchcraft is real because the devil is real, which is kind of a flawed argument, but this is a breakdown of it, so I don't know exactly how he words it, so maybe it's better. But yeah, because witches enter into a pact with Satan to allow them to perform harmful magical acts, thus establishing an essential link between witches and the devil, which he made up.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. Well, I don't know if he made it up, but that he definitely that's a major point where it like gets concrete. Like, this is what witches are now, because of this book mostly. In section 2, it breaks down like practices and rituals and recruitment strategies of witches. It states that witches are mostly recruited by other witches and not the devil. Kind of wonder why that is. Why isn't the devil going out there and handing out pamphlets like,
Yeah,
hey,
really.
join my society?
Yeah, wouldn't you like hear a guy out if he came up to you?
Yeah, there's
Hooved and
a
horned.
guy who's like, I'm old horny. Here you go. Here's a pamphlet.
Yeah, exactly.
Or old horny actually.
Old
and that's
horny.
only if you're in Scotland.
Yeah.
But yeah, the witches are the ones who do the recruiting. Basically, he says here by making something go wrong in the life of a respectable matron, so a mother, I guess.
Okay.
That makes her consult the knowledge of a witch, or by introducing young maidens to tempting young devils.
Tempting young devils, is that a reference to other men or no, just the actual devils?
It could be like minor devils that serve
Okay.
under you know,
Gotcha.
Ald.
I guess because like there's some conceptions that witches
Yeah.
lay with minor devils, beasts, and other.
Yes, that's
Paranormal
where like
beings.
the witch's mark kind of comes from.
Okay.
But I don't. This does go into this. What I'm going to go into here doesn't, but the Malleus Maleficarum in general does talk about witches' marks,
Okay.
which are just birthmarks or moles.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly where their familiar like sucks their life force.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
It's how they like. Yeah, it's the pact that they make with them. Section 2 also goes over how witches like cast spells and remedies to prevent witchcraft, and to help people who are affected by it. Section 3 is probably the most well-known part of this. It's where he actually goes into what makes it the hammer of witches. It's where he goes into how to prosecute a witch.
Oh boy.
So it goes over like different. It says the arguments are clearly laid for the lay magistrates to prosecute witches. I think this is where he makes his argument that witches should always be put to death, basically. Because at the time, before he wrote this, sorcery was only viewed as a minor crime or a minor offense, and it wasn't definitely not death. Death would not have been on the table. Why are you looking at me like that?
It's nothing.
Okay. So, yeah, basically, like, he just lays out here reasons for why they should be, like, put to death or tried in general, and why witchcraft is such a terrible thing. And then, this is also where he advocates for torture to get confessions. But yeah, that's basically what Section 3 does. And apparently...
I don't know. I'm sorry. I just, when you brought up the persecution of witches, the first thing I thought of was the Monty Python clip when they're doing the trial.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
how he's like formulating in his head about how a witch can float on water.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, she must be made of wood. And he's like, what else floats on water? And they're like all throwing out a duck.
Yeah. At the end here, so basically,
Fair point. Sorry.
you're fine. The section offers a step-by-step guide to conduct a witch trial, from the method of initiating the process and assembling accusations to the interrogation, which that part includes torture, of the witnesses. So he even calls for the torture of the witnesses, not just the witches themselves.
To get information or just...
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess you...
And
you
also
might,
for accusation purposes.
yeah, I guess you might think a witness of a witch
And then-
could easily be under a spell or something just because they were
Yes.
in proximity.
And then at the end is the formal charging of the witch. And apparently it says here, women who did not cry during their trial were automatically believed to be witches. So there's a lot of history behind this. A lot of specific history with the man who wrote this. His name was Heinrich Kramer. I think he was from Austria? No, he's German. Okay, so he's from somewhere in Germany. So basically, he... Sorry, I need to lean forward.
Oh, God. He's getting serious.
It's just so I can read it better. Because I'm trying to get the words right for this part. So he went to Austria. He was called there by some Catholic authority. I don't know exactly who.
Okay.
It could have been the Pope. But he was called to Austria to investigate witches and persecute them. And over a period, he basically he tried to do that. He went to a place called Innsbruck, which is the capital of Trial and the 5th largest city in Austria now. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that city's name, but yeah. But yeah, so that's where he went, where this specifically happened. Trying to go to this part of it. So yeah, witchcraft had been forbidden by the church, but it wasn't like a major offense until much later on. Is it in here? No. Okay, I'll go back to this page then instead. So while he was there, he kept getting. He was basically just trying to preach about how witches are bad and not to fall for the devil and whatnot. There was apparently a noble knight named Jorg Spies. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but he had like some illness, and it was attributed to visiting a woman named Helena Schuberin. She was the wife of a prosperous burgher. Yeah, I know.
I don't know why that made me laugh. I know burger's a thing.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Burger.
Oh. Yeah, so his doctor basically, this knight's doctor basically told him, hey, stop hooking up with this woman. She's the wife of this prosperous, like, noble guy. He's gonna kill you.
Oh boy.
But apparently Schuberin was described as an aggressive, independent woman who was not afraid to speak her mind. Which is dangerous in this time period.
Yes, very.
So shortly after Kramer's arrival in the city, she passed him on the street and spat and cursed him publicly. She said, "Fie on you," or "fie on you." I don't know. It's been a while since I've heard that word. You bad monk. May the I keep misreading it. May the falling evil take you. Later, it was discovered that she was not attending Kramer's sermons and encouraged others to do likewise. So she was basically encouraging people to not pay any attention to Kramer unless it was negative, to badmouth him, curse him like she had. And that was part of what was brought to her at trial of how dare you not go to my sermons? Which is kind of funny. She apparently disrupted one of his sermons by loudly proclaiming that she believed Illis Institoris, which is his Latin name, I think, to be she basically said that he was an evil man in league with the devil. So she tried to accuse him what he was going to accuse her of, but she was doing it. I mean, I don't think she believed that anything would actually come of it. She just wanted to badmouth the guy because she didn't like the guy.
Yeah. And liked speaking her mind.
Of course, he brought her to trial over this. So the trial of Innsbruck, where Helena and a few other women were put on trial for crimes of witchcraft, basically, or sorcery in general. During the trial, 6 other women were also accused, like it says here. Yeah. So at this time, like I've mentioned a few times before, authorities really in general regarded sorcery as a minor offense and would not have associated it with the devil or Satan or anything like that. So apparently there was a lawyer who, for the defendants, who raised procedural objections, which the commissionary in general, representing the Bishop Gulser, upheld. So basically, he was like, "You're going about this the wrong way. There are problems here that Heinrich was doing wrong. That did not mesh with the way that they did the law there, basically, I guess." The accused were released after putting up a bond, just in case the trial was going to be resumed. And they were all either freed or received mild sentences in the form of penance. I need to go to his page now because there's something I think is funny that describes him at this point. He was very angry about this.
Angry. Yeah.
Angry.
Well, I mean,
I'm trying to figure out, because what led to him actually writing the Malleus Maleficarum was not this trial in itself. It was him getting expelled from this place, from Innsbruck. I'm trying to find where it talks about that.
We know what happens to people that get kicked out of schools. And very
Sorry, I'm trying to
incelious
find
people.
it. Oh, here it is.
Celibate people.
I need to ignore that part.
Mm.
And it's nothing bad. It's
Well,
not
while you're
important.
looking, I have another quick witch fact for you guys.
ahead.
Do you know why in old publications, mainly like 1600s to 1800s, have witches spelt with 2 V's instead of a W? Well, after the mass production of the printing press, W wasn't a very common letter used, so they had to use a press with 2 V's instead.
Why not 2 U's?
Um,
Then it would be a double U, not a double V.
you know, that would make more sense.
Although
judging
in
by
other languages it is called W. So.
W or
And V is ve. So.
what? Oh man. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just another interesting thing. That's also what other level? Oh, S's were F's at one point as well.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it also just like saved money on the printing process as well, just so they didn't have to replace keys very
Yeah.
often. But yeah. Anyway, continue.
So yeah, Kramer. He wrote the Malleus or the Malleus Maleficarum. It refers to it as Malleus here. Following his expulsion from Innsbruck by the local bishop due to charges of illegal behavior against Kramer himself, and because of Kramer's obsession with the sexual habits of one of the accused, Helena Schobern, which led to the tribunal members to suspend the trial. So the trial was suspended, not because they actually wanted, were like, no, this is dumb. I mean, it was kind of partly that, but it was also because they were like, this guy's crazy, and he
Yeah.
is obsessed with this woman.
Yeah, I could see why. That would definitely
Which
lead
is
to
why
an
I was saying
unjust
that he
trial.
was an incel earlier.
Oh, okay. Yep, there it is. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just like that the local bishop was like, get out of here, just go.
Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, but after that, he did try to use the papal bull to basically make the judges agree with him.
Mm,
Yeah, but it didn't work. Not in this case, anyway.
interesting. Okay.
But his book did lead to the death of many, many innocent people.
You hate to see it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not... yeah, definitely one of the greatest...
Yeah, the Malleus Maleficarum is what literally incited or partially what incited the witch trials.
Yeah, that makes sense. A publication of Why Big Bad. Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. That is terrible. Holy cow.
But yeah, that was probably my biggest topic. So
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna quick transit. I have a really quick one to go to before we throw some messages your way. What's that big wacky book that a lot of people into magic like to use? The most commonly named one is the Necronomicon.
dang it.
Now you may know it
I
as
was gonna say Winnie the Pooh.
Oh man, yeah, you're right. Actually, you know, some of my best
Magic of Friendship.
My greatest spells were performed with the magic of friendship. Yes. So the Necronomicon, you might have heard it if you're an avid B-roll horror film fan. The Evil Dead. I wouldn't call that a B-roll because it was originally intended to be one, but then it grew in insane popularity. They had the Necronomicon Ex Mortis is what they called it. Video games have used the Necronomicon in many different features. I remember TF2 had a Halloween special that was the Abominomicon.
Oh.
And it just summoned like an onslaught of bombs and stuff.
yeah.
Anyway, the Necronomicon unfortunately does not have the coolest origin, because it is in fact a fully fictional novel. A book.
Like
now
the book itself doesn't even actually exist.
Yeah,
it's
it
part
doesn't.
of another book.
It's only referenced very lightly in many of the novels of the great horror writer H.P. Lovecraft.
I don't know if great's his
Great's
works
not-
were great, but he was not great.
The infamous H.P. Lovecraft.
That works.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what he named his cat.
Yes, yeah. Go ahead and look it up on
If you're young, you might
if
not
you
want
want to. Yeah, maybe not. But basically, it was lightly referenced in many of his most famous works, such as Nameless City, Call of Cthulhu. All of that included
Yeah.
minor references. In 1927, he actually wrote. It wasn't published until 1938 following his death, but in 1927 he wrote a pseudo-history note that was on the Necronomicon, basically giving it many origins, its discovery in an ancient tomb, in the Middle East, and it traverses different lands. There are copies of them made, and they're found in multiple institutions across the world, such as the British Museum of Art and History, and many different museums and private collections.
Is there anything on the etymology?
So, did I not write that? Okay. So the Necronomicon is also appears with the name the Kitab al-Azif, which was its original name when it was quote unquote discovered. But the Necronomicon itself is Latin for an image of the law of the dead. There's also another interpretation that is something similar, where it's just like it all revolves around law of the dead, or almost like a guidebook, which is what its intended use was.
It's a grimoire, right?
It's a grimoire.
Grimoires are books of knowledge. So
yeah, it's guidelines to interacting with death, necromancy, and other forms of that. Basically, a nice little travel guide to between the realms and everything like that.
It's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, except not.
Yeah, it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the
underworld.
To the underworld.
Yeah, to Hades.
And so you've definitely heard and may have seen the Necronomicon used in many popular media forms, movies, TV shows, other book references, because it is like one of the quintessential grimoires. I believe it was in, I mean, if we're talking about witches, Hocus Pocus is a very classic film when it comes to that. I believe they literally use a Necronomicon to find the spell that makes them beautiful and everything. And also is where their insatiable hunger for children comes from, because of the way they use their magic. But so yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't have a very long-lasting history or very interesting history. But just the fact that something, I mean, its appearances in Nameless City and Call of Cthulhu, particularly Nameless City.
Apparently, the book in Hocus Pocus is not called the Necronomicon.
It's not.
No.
What do they call it?
It's called Spellbook.
It's just called
Actually, it says full name here is Manual of Witchcraft and Alchemy.
Oh, never mind.
Alias Spellbook, Spell Spacebook, Book, Sanderson Sisters Spellbook, Winifred Sanderson's Spellbook, Winnie Sanderson's Spellbook.
Okay, never mind.
So it's definitely a reference to the Necronomicon.
But it usually always is.
Yeah.
I particularly like the design of it in The Evil Dead, because it's like it's bound by human flesh.
That's what this looks like.
Yeah, it's outside cover is human flesh and shows a face. The pages are like either made of skin or some form of muscle. It's bound by hair. It's just basically made out of human materials, and that just adds to the spookiness of it.
Grotesqueness.
The grotesqueness of it, because of course a book's so powerful, as in it literally takes them through time. It summons the dead. It reanimates objects into evil spirits. Stuff
Summons
like that.
more than the dead. Isn't there like something in there about summoning like Cthulhu?
Not via the Necronomicon, no. Because in Call of Cthulhu, its reference is literally just like a 2-line poem about the dead.
Okay.
It doesn't even literally use the word Necronomicon. But it's believed by scholars of Lovecraftian lore will say that it's relative to it because it references the dead, and that was the most original form of it. So, very quick, very easy run through of it. Yeah. So actually, this is we're actually a little bit over the time for that, but we're gonna throw it over to some quick messages that will keep this train running tonight. Thank you so much for joining us here. We will be right back with you on the Paranormal Express on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
Do you like what you're hearing? Have a thought, suggestion, or idea? Drop us an email at kur@kutztown.edu. We enjoy hearing from you. The radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
Programming on KUR provided in part by the students of Kutztown University Radio. Checking campus headlines, history has been made. Your Kutztown University Golden Bears football team has advanced to the national quarterfinals with a 10-7 win over New Haven this past Saturday. Kutztown will now host PSAC East foe number 8 Shepherd on Saturday, December 4th in the Super Region 1 championship game. It will be Kutztown's first ever game in the month of December. KU defeated the Rams 37-29 in West Virginia back on September 25th, handing Shepherd its only loss of the season. The two programs have met once previously in the NCAA playoffs back in 2010 when the Rams held off the Bears 41-34 in the second round. So obviously we hope for a repeat of September 25th, and if the Golden Bears win this coming Saturday, we're going to be going to levels that we've never been at before. Although where we're going now on Saturday is already levels that we've never been at before, but let's just go as far as we can and win it all. It's good to be golden, isn't it? Game details and ticket information at kubears.com throughout the week leading up to the game. And a reminder that KUR's star team of Noah Pegler and Jack Heim will have live play-by-play action once again from the booth Saturday on KUR. Go Golden Bears. We check news hourly on KUR.
Back, ladies and gentlemen. You are here aboard the I almost said aboard the ladies and gentlemen.
You're here aboard the ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
You're a non-binary friend.
Yep.
You're now on board the Paranormal Express. As you can tell, we're coming down to the end of the show. I was already exhausted before we started, and now it's just we're getting there. So today's topic is a continuation of last time's topic of witches. We spoke about warlocks, witches' hats, Necronomicon,
Wow.
the
Wow.
Malekithar.
No, that is not it at all. The Malleus Maleficarum.
Maleficarum.
Just say the Hammer of Witches.
The Hammer of Witches, as they call it. Yes.
That's what it's translated
So, did you have another topic, or did you
I
want me to
have
finish?
2 more topics I can go into.
Okay, yeah, you might as well.
They're both pretty short. Well, at least this one is.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's go hop right into it then.
So, this is because of the seemingly organized persecution of the witches during the early modern period. Some people believed that there was an effort to suppress a pre-Christian pagan religion. This is known as the witch cult hypothesis. So they believe that pre-Christian there was a witch cult which worshipped a horned god, usually called the horned god now. Doesn't have an actual name, but it basically syncretizes every deity throughout any religion who has horns. So it encompasses Pan, my favorite horned god, Cernunnos, from mostly Britain and Ireland, a little bit in Ireland. But yeah, it encompasses a lot of those people.
The devil?
He's equated with the devil by the Christian persecutors, is what it says.
Yeah, of course.
They worship the horned god of fertility, the underworld, and the hunt, and the hunted, whose Christian persecutors called the devil. And followers participated in nocturnal rites known as the Witches' Sabbath, which is my other topic, actually, which is the Witches' Sabbath.
Like the witches on Black Sabbath.
But yeah, there's a lot that goes into this, but that's kind of the general idea, is that it's a theory or a hypothesis of this witch cult that existed pre-Christian, and that was the reason for the witch trials and the persecution of witches was to suppress this cult and destroy it. A lot of people who study the actual historical aspect of the witch trials don't believe it. They consider it pseudo-historical. Yeah.
I also apologize for my rendition of War Pigs by Black Sabbath earlier. That sounded like it came out of nowhere.
I didn't hear it, actually.
I did it. You went right over it, and I thought that's how bad it was.
I wasn't paying attention.
No,
I was
it's
focused
fine.
on this.
It's fine.
But yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
For the most part, there is a lot more here that I could go into, but it's just kind of unnecessary.
We're also coming down to
Exactly.
the 8 minutes or so. Did you want to run by that
Witch's Sabbath?
the message from the good
message. No, let's
conductor?
do the Witch's Sabbath instead. Okay. I forgot he came in here earlier and just kind of dusted these off for us.
Yeah.
So, from the KUR Notebook. Attention KU community. Are you a student looking to put volunteering at a cool college radio station on your resume? Look no further than KUR. Absolutely no experience is required. For details on joining, go to our website at www.kutztown.edu/KUR. That's www.kutztown.edu/KUR. We hope to have you part of our family soon. This message of community interest brought to you by the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
We completely missed the opportunity to say from the KUR Necronomicon.
Could have, or the KUR Grimoire.
The
Because
KUR
Grimoire is a more
Grimoire.
generic term.
It also rhymes pretty well. KUR Grimoire. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you gonna continue? Were you still in the middle of your topic?
If
or?
do you have it? No. Which cult hypothesis I finished? I can go into the Sabbath if you don't have anything else, but...
I think that's going to be more related to witches than my final topic, and we definitely don't have the time.
What was
so
your final topic?
It was scrying, or
that's
using of the
related to
orbs.
witches.
I can speed run
But
it really quick.
Okay.
Because I think finishing on Sabbath is good because that's very, very related to it. So scrying is basically the act of using a crystal orb, a mirror, or stagnant water surface to do a vast number of rituals or practices. There's no clearly defined discipline or uniform use. The orb is the most common, a crystal ball, the kind you'd expect a cheap fortune teller to tell you.
my orb earlier.
Exactly. The kind you expect a cheap fortune teller to tell you about the healing tribulations of your life based on the number of stains on your shirt. Clairvoyance is most notably practiced on them as well. The classic image of a bedazzled hag waving their arms over a cheap
My
glass
least
ball for
favorite spell in
tips.
Skyrim.
I used it a lot because I am so
There's so many
bad at
markers,
directions.
though.
I know there are.
There's so many markers. It's a good spell for Morrowind. There's no markers.
Yeah. So witches, of course, adopt many of these practices with crystal orbs. The belief in many minerals containing magical properties, specifically quartz, is typically the most common use to make the orbs. Quartz is believed to be the master healer. It amplifies, stores, and releases energy, being a quite cheap mineral to obtain as well, and easy to turn into its clear
Is that why
crystal form.
in Minecraft it comes from hell?
Yeah, it's like
the nether?
it's the most difficult, one of the most difficult things to get in Minecraft. Yet in real life, it's in people's driveways and on the pavement.
I mean, I used to find it all the time when I was a kid.
Exactly. Most records of divination recount visions and prophetic visitations, whilst the user enters a trance-like state in forms. A paper in the journal Perception identifies the scrying illusion, specifically in mirrors, as, quote, might be caused by low-level fluctuations in the stability of edges, shading, and outlines affecting the perceived definition of the face, which gets overinterpreted as someone else by the face recognition system. Now, the face recognition system is a very lackluster identifier for how the mind interprets a face that owns specifically a consciousness or another being, so the user misstates their face for others and lose track of their own features and the trance-like state that comes from it. So that's why some people believe they actually see other people.
Right.
It's just because if you stare at a surface of yourself for so long, you'll actually just start to fuzz out things and see a different person. So that's what I have.
Okay.
So that was scrying,
So
speed run.
I can
All right,
go
what's
into
my
the
time?
Witch's Sabbath.
Yeah, do it.
Basically, it's just the gathering of witches for like ritualistic purposes. So basically, the ritual elements of it, which I think are more interesting, but because it's literally that basic, it's just a gathering of witches for these purposes.
Yeah.
Various purposes. So they represent a combination of 3 older mythical components, all of which are active at night. A procession of female spirits, often joined by privileged human beings and often led by supernatural women. The second one is a lone spectral huntsman. I'm assuming he represents the horned god, regarded as demonic, accursed, or otherworldly. And the third is a procession of human dead, normally thought to be wandering to expiate their sins, noisy and tumultuous, and usually consisting of those who had died prematurely and violently. I think that might be referencing the Wild Hunt, because I think a lot of the gods that the Horned God encompasses, a lot of them were leaders of the Wild Hunt at one point.
Okay. Makes sense.
That's what makes me tumultuous and violent makes me think that, and noisy, because the Wild Hunt is basically just wind. and storms.
What you described gave me a clear picture of a music video for one of my favorite songs by Ghost. Because they meet together and have like a party, and then there's a goat guy and a bunch of blood. It's really cool.
I think that's basically it for the ritual parts of it, at least. There's a lot more here too, but like you said, we're running low on time.
Exactly. Well, okay, so then does that kind of close up what you're talking about? Fantastic.
much.
Well, you recognize that music?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What is this?
What-
I have amnesia.
Where does this come from? Thank you so much for joining us here on the Paranormal Express. Jake, where can they find us outside of the show?
You can find us on YouTube at Paranormal Express or on Twitter at paranormal_exp. Both of which have a logo of a little train with some smoke coming out of it as ghost faces.
Awesome. Also, previous episodes or this episode, if you'd like to listen again, can be found on KUR Spotify. Just search Kutztown University Radio on your Spotify app, and you can save, download, or make a playlist out of any of those including a lot of our other student-run podcasts. Thank you so much again for joining us here on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
I'm going to go back to pondering my orb.
Yes, everybody ponder your orb tonight. That's your homework, so goodbye.